Hey, hi all. Welcome back to BRR Knowledge Center. In this session, we are going to talk about service discovery with Consul, a library for microservices. So, service discovery is one of the important feature for microservices, or kind of a key feature for microservice based architecture. It is trying to configure each client or some form of convention can be very difficult to do and can be very brittle. So using console, right, you can discover the services deployed behind the server. So console is a service discovery tool that can be used in microservices architecture to provide a catalog available services. So this console is an open source tool developed by HashiCorp that provides set of features for service discovery and runtime configurations. So when we talk about service discovery, right? So we clearly say that this is something we are talking about here. Let me change this view. I wanted to write something here regarding this console because it's an open source tool, right? Console is an open source tool, right? So developed by Hashi Corporation, right? That provides set of features for service discovery. Okay. So it helps in the dynamic registration and discovery of services in microservices architecture. When we talk about service discovery, right? Open source. So when we talk about service discovery, as I mentioned, this is one of the key component in microservices architecture. So this console is going to give you that benefit for microservices architecture, right? Which will describe or discover the services where they are deployed and how they are running. So what is the health condition of each service? And all these things can be, seen using console open source tool. Okay. So when you talk about this console, right, open source tool, right, it is just a kind of, discovery of a services via HTTP request. So it basically what it is doing is when you run your service, it is just showing the status of service in the console UI. Okay. There are some more, other things also available for service discovery like Eureka or Kubernetes, right? But this console is basically belongs to .NET, right? Where you just install a package, it's just installing package and adding reference to your .NET project, and then it enable, right, console helper class to write and attach to the console UI agent so that you can see the discovery of your services. First, what we have to do is we need to uh, download the console agent, right? And that agent you need to start in your local machine so that it will run on port number 8500 and give you the beautiful UI. So let me tell you that first so that you'll start integrating into, .NET further. Okay. So console agent download, if you just type that in your browser, okay, so it will tell you, right, uh, console is going to be downloaded from this website. You just visit this website, right? This is the UI overall. It is just showing you when you install it on your system. Maybe it's Mac OS or Windows. For me, it is Windows. I just downloaded this thing, right? You just download it or install the package using a different commands as well. Okay. So for Windows, this is a way of getting the console, right, user agent. It's something like UI where you just see the services discovery. Okay. So you get through like PowerShell commands or Unix commands, right? Or you just download the binary downloads so that it will download the exe. Okay. So once you download it, right, you come here and download it binary so that it will download you the stuff of console agent. Okay. Wherein you just go and see that stuff. It is coming for Linux. Oops. But we're trying for Windows, right? Just try to download this. So if you just download for the Windows, it downloads for Windows, right? And Windows simply like exe that everybody knows that, right? So it's something like the come up with exe, right? This is how it is coming up with when you open your download file console.exe. Okay, so I basically downloaded this stuff. Okay, I basically downloaded this stuff and installed into my local machine. So that's where I'm going to have it, the operations on and off of this console discovery. So let me share you this folder here. So this is what my folder, the downloaded folder, which has come up with console exe, and this is the license. You can visit this open source licensing. It is something like telling about uh, kind of MariaDB Corporation, right? Hashi Corporation licensed, right? Uh, the additional user grant and for other information, right? You can check the agreements for the licensed work and other things from licensing at the rate hashicorp.com. So, however, this is not required for you to go through this because it's open source, you directly use it. So the next thing is you just go to command prompt. Okay. So after going to command prompt, what you have to do is you need to start run this, right? You need to start run this, and running on that, you will see a beautiful UI here. Okay. So on running this, you will get a beautiful UI. To run this, you have to use command called, right? Console agent, right? In dev environment. This is the command you need to run. When I run this, it will get start, right? And you just go and browse the localhost 8500 port so that you will see a beautiful UI. Let me open this and go back here, right? And let me browse this so that you find it a beautiful UI. 8500, that is how you are going to browse it. When you browse this, so by default, it is come up with console service. This is your mission, right? Desktop, which is connected, all node checking passing, right? This is something you can see very fast entry. And also you have a drop down here like node tags, ID, address, port, service meta, right? In node meta, and the health status like passing warnings or critical or no checks, right? Or critical or passing. So everything can be seen. And this is the nodes. It is just displaying right now. It is connected to my local machine. Hence, I can see the node of my machine, the key value pair, and intentions you can see here, right? Documentation, the tutorial. So, and other stuff, I think we'll go through this in the coming sessions. But now for the session is dedicatedly, fit the agenda. Like the agenda fixed for the session is just how you are going to register a service with this console and how you are going to see the status, all right, or discovery of your service in this a beautiful UI. Okay. Now, second thing is right. Uh, you have to open your dot files, right? So you have to open your .NET, right? And in the .NET, what you have to do is, right, you need to register some of this stuff. So I already have some APIs, right? Login or some of the MDA or location registration, EMP registration. So let me integrate this service discovery, right? Registration process in one of these API and see that how these are working. So for me, like everything is an API. I'm not bothered about like what kind of API or how many APIs you're having it. But as part of this registration, right, with the console HASI Corporation, you need to make sure to add a NuGet package that is console, right? Go to your references right? Add reference. I already installed console. That's the reason. I can see console here. Maybe this is the console I already installed. If not installed, just go to get package, right? And wherein you type console. When I type console, right? Browse it first. So it will give you the list of libraries. This is what you need to choose for a .NET framework. Right here, you can see the version and the authors and licensing Apache 2.0 and download date published. Right. So everything you can see it here. Okay. And dependencies are, of course, so 4.6.0 or greater than, right? 4.7.0 of C sharp, .NET standard is 2.0, C sharp again, JSON is again something like that. So it works more, no right since from 4.6 framework onwards. Okay. So when you install this to your login API, right? It is installing it and adding to your API references, right? Just apply. So what it will do is it will add to your current selected API. Okay. So now go and check the references here, and you can see this is the reference. Okay. So this is what the reference we are going to use it as console. Okay. So this console reference is added here. I just check these properties as well. Right. This is something that is the start line like having reference from so and so path. Okay. So the description saying that console.NET is the .NET client library for the console HTTP API. Okay. Console HTTP API. Let me close this. And next thing is you need to add a console helper class here. Okay. Console helper class you need to add here. I'm going to add helper class, right? And start writing off class methods, right? Console helper class, yes, right? I just added a class here. It is just coming up with the login API console helper class. Okay, so in this console helper class, I'm going to put this sort of code here. I'm just copying this code for the quick programming here. Let me try to copy this public static. Yeah, here it is. I'm just copying this stuff, right? You can see it here, right? This is what my class console helper, and this is a method I've written register service async process. And instead of that, I'm just instantiating console client. For this, I'm preparing a registration object with ID. This is the ID which is going to assign it to your API. Okay. So that way it is uniquely identifying your APIs. And this is the name of your API, right? Or you can say this as user login details, right? Right. So this is running on localhost, right? This is 8500 of your console, UI. So, and here check what needs to be checked before it gives health status of your API. So I have to mention some, the name of this basically login API, right? What I'll do is I'll just say this is my login API and this is my endpoint here. So and then I'll put some interval and time mode. So health check is going to happen every 10 seconds, right? We'll wait for 5 seconds. Till 5 seconds it will wait, and every 10 seconds it is going to hit your API and find out the service status. Okay. And then you will say that client.xml service register. It is going to register the entire object into a console library. Another method I have written is deregister. This is for registered service. This is for deregistering of your service. This is just something like service deregister of the name. So in this case, the name is the ID is login. When you say login, it is going to deregister it. Okay. So fine, you written like registration and unregistration, deregistration. two methods you have written in the console helper class. Now, how I'm going to invoke these two methods, right, to get installed or registered with console UI. For that, what you do is you need to open this global.a6 file, right, where it is going to have every request landing here, right? So just write down the application start method, right? Protected, right? Void application. Sorry, application start. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the registration starting. The console helper is a class dot. I need to register when my service is on. Okay, get waiter dot get result. Okay, this is the command I'm writing it. Similarly, for unregistered, right? This is going to happen or must happen on end. So here in this, I can say deregister service async and get waiter get result. So these two lines of code you need to add it in your global.a6 dot, right, CS file. Or if you don't have global.a6 or CS file, just write down in your program.cs file. Okay, let me compile this. So build succeeded. And again, coming to console helper class, right? In the registration process, it has to check one of the endpoint to find out service is running, right? Health is the endpoint. This is the port number, right? I'm going to look at this health endpoint is available on. It is available here and it's saying healthy, right? When it hits to this endpoint and it's returning healthy. That means I can say that login API is login API is healthy. Okay, this is the what the message I'm giving it to the console. Okay, let me run this. Okay, when I run this, what happened is it is going to run the API and it will start, right, the global.a6.start, right. Let me see this. What is the port number I mentioned? 63161, right? 63161, right? I think that this one, not this, this is a different one, right? And 63, this one. Yeah, let me do this. Review index. Those, yeah. For I think I'm done for login, right? Not this one. Okay. This is MDA. I'm doing it for login, right? Let me open this login things. This is 6312, right? This is 63162. So make sure it has to be this thing. Okay. Let me close this. And let's replace this with 6312. Again, run this and go to your service discovery, right? Wherein it is displaying the stats of, right, the service discovery console. Look at here services, right? User login details is started. Look at here the name, whatever name you have given it in your right service. Where is that service? The service login API, right? This is the user login details you mentioned. The name has automatically pulled into this service console UI. Okay, it is telling about there is a problem with this. Let me say this. All node checking passing, all node checking failing. So it is failing is this method, right? Is context deadline exceeded, timeout exceeded. Pause. Let me try to browse this. What happened? It's not on. 6312. Oh, it should be 63162, right? Why 161 is showing? I guess. Oh, it is not registered. Okay, let me do this. Okay, let me start this, right? And I'll add similar console helper class to another API, like console helper class for this, right? Which is 631. This is 631, and this is MDI API, I can say. And this is single page service details. And this is SPA, and here is okay. And it is local.basics, right? We see this before. Okay, yeah. Okay. Let me copy this to this, okay, and do this. Uh, So now it is fine now. Okay. It's recording. So it's not done since. Okay. So let me run this once again. So and see that. Now it is fine. Showing Swagger. This is fine. MDI. And this is login. It is fine. Now go back to your console UI and see here. Right. Now you can see here, I think two end services are failing. Why? I don't know what is happening. It login API dial-up, text no connection could be made. I don't know what is happening. Single page. It's 163. This should have run and display the result, right? You should have run this. I don't know what is happening it. 6312, right? I don't know why this is not capturing 6312. This is also not MDI have MDI API. Localhost 63162 MDI API. Let me check this. APIs are running or not. This is login API. It is seems. Login API slash healthy or health. I'm not sure this why it is not going. Okay, we'll do one thing. Instead of running multiple, let me try to run one by one. That would be great, I think. First, I'll run login. This is I'm just open. So I'm just opening the login controller. This is MDI and this is MDI. This is login, I guess. Login. This is also login, right? And the registration process, I'm just saying about this is the IP, right? Let me run this. Where is the login API? Let me check the port number of this API. Build and I think it is not giving an API. 63162, right? 63162 login API health. And in this controller, right, login API health. This is fine, right? And let me run this. I don't know why it is not showing. So it is messy. Let me check this. Will it cause any problem? Let me do this. Going back here. Oops. It's well and good. Then why the problem is coming? This is not adding. Why? Helper class and re-register. Where did we made a mistake here? Oh, I think somehow we mistake. Maybe API config registration we missed. Let me check this. Global.acx. Okay, we missed this. Let me run now. I think. Sorry. This won't require. Let me finish. Now I can see this. Yeah. Now here 1632, right? 1632, right? Uh, Login API slash health. Yeah, here it is. What happened? Spelling misspelled. Yeah, this is what I'm expecting. Okay. So let me close this and this line we have to give it as part of this, APIs. I think I missed even in for MDI API as well. Let me give this. Let me make this to be happen while running. I'll make this as start. Let me save and start now and go back to this is my login and this is my MDI. Okay, this MDI and this is login. So two APIs running now. Now go to your console. Yeah, here it is. Now you can see past. There are two services is running now. A single page service and login user login details. Click on user login details. All services, right? Checks processing. All node checks processing. Click on here and you can see agent alive and reachable. Okay. And even it is telling about the health status and evidence of making the statement. This is the endpoint. It hits to login API and get the 200 status, and this is what the response they get back. Okay, so these details, right? You can copy it and send it to your client saying that this service is up and running. Okay, so now all services are running now. Okay, uh, and of course, coming back to now this single page, this also talking about the service. So on service is healthy because it has got 200 stats. Okay, this way you can monitor your service health, right, using Consul UI, which will give you the details of URL, right, and the port number and the status of your right check ID service SPA, right? Here, coming to another service, this is something like service ID is login. So this is check ID, this is the type, right? This is the no service name. If you want to give any description, that description also coming here as part of notes if you want to give it. Okay. So this is something about the service discovery using console library. So what we have done is first step is we have installed, right? Console NuGet package, right? Step two is created console helper class with registered and deregistered deregistered methods, right? Step three is invoking, right, registered and deregistered methods inside of global.a6.cs file. So these are the three steps we have done, right? And finally, step four is downloaded, right? Console, right? Uh, for Windows from uh, HashiCorp website, right? And then what we did is step five is we ran command, right? Console agent dev. And step six is browse the URL HTTP localhost, right? 8500 port. So these are the steps you make sure you have to, implement line by line, right? To get started with console service discovery library for .NET APIs. Okay, this is open source tool. Using it for .NET Web APIs. Okay, thanks for listening to this video and please subscribe this channel for more videos. Thank you.